What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
From Marketing Land from Daniel Fagella, focused on newsletter best practices. Now, email newsletters, if you're doing them, they're a powerful tool to promote your business and attract and retain new clients. You know, once you've studied your consumer database and you know their demographics, you're ready to go. But before you start, there are some important issues to consider so you don't succumb to the same mistakes that other companies may have come across when producing their own newsletters. And if you're savvy to the newsletters that you may have experienced, you'll probably see some familiar mistakes out there. So here's some tips on how to avoid the most common blunders. All right, target your readership. You know, don't produce vanilla newsletters that send out the same information to everyone in your client database. Not only is this pointless, it'll also turn your prospects and clients away because they don't want to read a generic email that's not relevant to them. You've got a sales funnel, don't you? I mean, literally, there are people that sign up and have an interest that haven't bought from you.
Correct.
That information that you send to them should be different than clients that are actually actively working and getting services from you.
Yeah.
Especially if they're interested in certain work that you're doing or certain services that you're doing or a certain product that they bought. Well, why not actually deliver a custom message to them that's specific to the segment that you're trying to market to? So if they bought this particular product, don't try to sell them on this particular product.
Don't sell them the same exact product,
that's kind of annoying.
But to that point, if somebody buys something like that, maybe you should, like we've talked about with Amazon, they have the suggested products. That's a good time to push.
Absolutely.
People who bought this device also bought this, and this.
Yeah,
that's a good way to
have complementary products that makes a logical, intuitive jump for the people that purchase those.
The next step of the sales funnel.
That's
you
right.
Start with this, and then you move on to the next step.
You know, the unifying characteristic of newsletters that they get opened and deliver an ROI is because they're highly targeted and relevant to desired audiences. Segmentation is the key, and most companies, even ones with large email lists where benefits of segmentation are quite evident, are too lazy to do it. Now, let me speak to that real quick. If your message doesn't look like it's somewhat personalized, it looks like I'm as a company that I'm too lazy to deliver something useful to the consumer. You know, so the opt-outs are going to go up. And I mean, if you keep on trying to push the same information, same subject lines, same designs, and same product features, you're gonna have a deaf ear real quick. All right, another point: publish your newsletter consistently. How often do you publish your newsletter? Is it bi-weekly or weekly or monthly? That will depend on whether or not you're involved, in a hobbyist niche or a large consumer segment. I mean, there's a way to send it within a particular manner based on your your clientele. If you're involved in a small niche, right, such as maybe model trains or something like that, a bi-weekly newsletter is more than reasonable, as people will consume your content for fun. If your company is involved in the B2B, right, like selling industrial pipe or plumbing wholesalers, your newsletter will generally be sent out less frequently. Whichever frequency you decide on, it's important to make sure that your newsletter is developed on a regular basis or delivered on a regular basis as well. So your customers don't forget you're out there. If you have a Monday message, keep it going every Monday. Don't slip. Don't do it on Wednesday. Don't try to catch up. And I've done that myself. And you got to have a discipline.
It can be tough, especially for small business owners who get stuck with the other tasks that they have to go do, and it can be difficult to keep on that track. That's what I think was good with Doug's Circuit Press for blogs. Every Monday, it's a recap of what you missed on the blog, and I sure it's pretty much automatic.
It is, absolutely. And you can schedule exactly whenever it comes out, and it will actually get all the blog content and deliver it right to your mailbox. Yeah, that's a great point. CircuPress is a free plugin for WordPress, and you can have all of your blog content delivered to subscribers. Another point, and this is a very important point, track your analytics. Mm-hmm. There's no point in sending out your company newsletter like a message in a bottle, hoping it will get picked up and read by someone somewhere. You know, if you don't know how many people are actually receiving your email or are reading it, you don't know how effective it is as a marketing tool. And I know if Doug was here, he'd be clamoring about this, you know, because, I mean, they send out communications regularly, and it's a waste of time if you don't measure. And I think this actually goes across everything that we talk about on this show. If you don't have tools to measure that, or if you're delivering it with a tool that doesn't give you good analytics, good understanding of open rates, good understanding of bounce rates, let alone people that are opting out, right? You're blind to the effectiveness of a campaign. And on top of that, trying out your newsletters in different time periods, in different manners, to be able to see what the response is, right? That's all about A/B testing, and that's how you find an effective tool. That's absolutely it. So you need to know that type of information. That's the end. That's the entire game right there. So if you some tools that are out there that are really good: Constant Contact, Exact Target, MailChimp. You know, all those have really good analytics behind them, and that's what you're utilizing. That's what you're paying attention to. All right. Another quick point. Use subject line best practices. Now, this may sound obvious, but many company emails go unread because their headlines fail to catch the intended reader's attention. You know, most common errors is a title. They title each newsletter the same way, making it go stale in the subscriber's inbox. Right?
Yeah.
Instead, be more specific. Sometimes have some fun, or even benefit-driven messages are useful to be able to attract attention. People need a reason to read.
Yeah, it's a headline. You know, you're not going to read the article in the newspaper if you don't think the headline's interesting, right? You know, same practice.
That actually goes to a particular point. Your email box is no longer your corporate communication. Your email box is another level of kind of the social media, or an RSS reader, or the way you interact, and I know my inbox gets pretty full on a regular basis. I'm sure a lot of listeners do as well, and they will click on the headlines that attract their most attention. You know, so here's some good examples. Here's a bad headline: news update from our CEO. All right.
Yeah.
A good headline would be: CEO expects company growth to double within 3 years.
Yeah.
A bad headline: Acme newsletter number 407. A good headline: 2 simple tactics for doubling your inbound leads. Bam.
Yeah.
You know, understanding and modeling the strategies from large and successful companies is not only a good place to start, it's often a good way to generate quality leads. The last point here is just to keep it simple. Don't try to be too clever. Keep your layout simple and avoid experimenting with different font styles and sizes. Take examples from styles of major newsletters. You know, use one type of font face and the rest one size for the main text of all your newsletters. Keep it uniform and consistent and responsive.
Yes.
All right. It's got to be looking good on a smartphone, because that's where email's getting picked up more than any other place. You also need to use images in your newsletter. Remember that newsletters do not use photographs. That they are doomed to lose readers simply because they look less appealing. Research indicates that people first look at a page, they're initially drawn in by the images themselves. All right. So all this is great, and you'll be able to have the link on edgeofthewebradio.com. So go check that out.